So one of the things that you've been talking about a lot is what you call the re-Judaization of Christian learning and Christian faith, the reconnection with the Old Testament, because after all, Jesus was a Jew, and not only was a Jew, was a practicing Jew. So obviously this week, it very often the Hebrew calendar correlates with the non-Hebrew calendar, with the secular calendar. It doesn't this year because of a weird kind of quirk in the Jewish calendar. So usually Passover, Pesach, and Easter fall during the same exact time period. They happen not to this year, but obviously when you're celebrating Holy Week, one of the things that you're celebrating is historically Passover, because the Last Supper was, of course, a Passover dinner.
Right. And you won't get anything about Jesus without getting the Old Testament. As Paul said, he's the yes to all the promises made to Israel. That means if you don't get Israel, you won't get him. And one of the problems, Ben, I think we've talked about before, is when you divorce Jesus from Judaism, he turns into a teacher of timeless truths. He turns into a bland sort of moral exemplar. And that's what the liberal culture often wants him to be. He becomes a rather harmless figure. I can take him or leave him. He's very interesting, but so is Confucius, and so are, but the Jesus who is grounded in Israel, who comes up out of Israel and is appreciated by the first Christians as the fulfillment of Israel, fulfillment of temple and Torah and prophecy, covenant. So when Jesus says at the Last Supper, this is the chalice of my blood, the blood of the new and eternal covenant, well, he's citing Jeremiah 31:31. The days are coming when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel, and I will write my law on their hearts. Well, see, we Christians tonight, as I record these words, it's Holy Thursday, and we celebrate the Eucharist. So what Jesus established that night, giving us his body and blood, and we eat his body and drink his blood, what's happening? The Torah is coming inside of us. The law is being written out in our hearts. Well, you won't get any of that unless you're averring to the Old Testament. And the readings I'm preparing for the liturgy tonight, they immerse us in that. The first reading, it's all about Passover. It's all about the temple. It's all about covenant, sacrifice, and so on. Without that, you won't get Jesus. You'll make him a bland figure.
Well, that's Bishop Robert Barron. Go check out all of his work over at Word on Fire Catholic Ministries, and check out his new book, Light from Light, a study on the Nicene Creed. Bishop Barron, really appreciate the time and the insight.
God bless you. Thanks, man.